Most cars die out after 10 years. A few lucky ones last 30. But there is one nameplate that has survived world wars, oil crises, the rise of the minivan, and the death of the sedan. It's the longest-running nameplate in automotive history. We are just talking about an SUV. We're talking about the Chevrolet Suburban, the Texas Cadillac that literally invented the category we all live in today. Here is why this 6,000-pound beast is the ultimate survivor. Back in the 1930s, if you wanted to carry a lot of people, you bought a bus. If you wanted to carry cargo, you bought a truck. There was no in between. But Chevy noticed a problem. National parks and depot hacks, early taxis, needed something that could handle rough dirt roads but also keep passengers dry from the rain. They tried putting wooden bodies on truck frames, but they rattled, rotted, and basically fell apart within 2 years. In 1935, Chevy dropped the carry-all Suburban. It was the first all-metal body wagon built on a tough-as-nails truck chassis. It wasn't pretty, and it only had 2 doors, but it could haul 8 people through a swamp. The SUV was born, and the world didn't even have a name for it yet.
Post-World War II America was all about the suburbs. Families were getting bigger, and they wanted to explore the new interstate highway system. The problem? The early Suburbans were still basically tractors. They were loud, bouncy, and had the luxury of a cardboard box. If Chevy didn't make them comfortable, the station wagon, the Woody, was going to kill the Suburban off for good. In the late 50s and 60s, Chevy pivoted. They added 4-wheel drive and started making the interior feel like a car. Suddenly, you could take the kids to school during the week and go off-roading in the Rockies on the weekend. It became the Swiss Army knife of the American driveway. If you see a black Suburban on TV today, who is usually inside? Usually, it's a high-ranking government official, the FBI, or the president's motorcade. But why? Why not a Cadillac? Why not a heavy-duty tank? Because the Suburban is the only vehicle on the planet that has the 3 pillars. It can be armored to stop a 7.62 round. It can fit an entire tactical team with gear. And most importantly, it blends in. It's the gray man of the car world. It's powerful enough to ram a roadblock, but subtle enough to park at a grocery store. When the stakes are life and death, the pros choose the Suburban.
For decades, the Suburban was a niche tool for farmers and forest rangers. It was a work vehicle. Then came the 1990s. Gas was cheap, and suddenly, big was cool. But how does a farm truck become a status symbol for rappers and CEOs? Enter the GMT 400 generation. Chevy figured out that if they draped the interior in leather and gave it a massive V8, people would pay a premium. The Suburban stopped being a tool and started being a statement. It became the ultimate "I've made it" vehicle. It didn't just carry your family, it commanded the lane. To the untrained eye, a Suburban is just a Tahoe that's been hitting the gym. It's just longer, right? If you just stretched a frame, the car would snap or handle like a wet noodle. People think the extra 20 inches is just for more luggage, but it's actually about the geometry of the ride. That extra wheelbase changes everything. It makes the Suburban one of the best towing rigs on earth. Because the wheels are further apart, it doesn't hobby horse or bounce when you hook up an 8,000-pound boat. It's the difference between a stressful drive and a relaxing cruise. It's the long wheelbase magic that keeps people coming back for the 130-plus-inch frame. There is a weird tension in the Suburban community. You have the Z71 crowd who wants to mudbog, and the high country crowd who wants heated massage seats. Can one vehicle really do both? Can you have magnetic ride control for a smooth highway trip, but also a 2-speed transfer case for rock crawling? Chevy's solution was the modern independent rear suspension. For years, the Suburban had a solid axle in the back. It was tough, but rode like a school bus. By switching to independent suspension, they lowered the floor, giving the third-row passengers actual legroom while making it handle like a much smaller vehicle. It bridged the gap between a luxury limo and a mountain goat. We've all heard the stories. My grandpa has a 1998 Suburban with 400,000 miles on the original engine. But modern cars are full of electronics, sensors, and planned obsolescence. Is the new Suburban still a forever car, or is it just a lease-only nightmare? While the new tech has some critics, the core of the Suburban, the small block V8, is still a masterpiece of simplicity.
It's an overhead valve design that is physically smaller and easier to work on than the complex engines from Europe. If you change the oil, these things are designed to outlast your mortgage. That's why the resale value stays sky high.
Traditionally, if you wanted a Suburban, you accepted that you'd be visiting the gas station every 20 minutes. 12 mpg was the standard. In a world of high gas prices and electric vehicles, how does a third-row Titan survive? Is the V8's days numbered? The cheat code is the 3.0-liter Duramax turbo diesel. It's the Suburban's secret weapon. It gets nearly 30 mpg on the highway while still having enough torque to pull a house off its foundation. It's the first time in history you can own a giant SUV without feeling like you're single-handedly melting the ice caps. It's the bridge to the future. Have you ever noticed that at almost every action movie, the bad guys arrive in a fleet of black Suburbans? Why did Hollywood choose this car over a Range Rover or a G-Wagon? It's because the Suburban is the enforcer. It has a cinematic presence that says, "Get out of the way." In 2019, the Suburban actually received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's appeared in over 1,750 films and TV shows since 1952. It isn't just a car, it's a cultural icon of power and mystery.
We are moving into an era of small crossovers, electric bubbles, and self-driving pods. Does a massive V8-powered body-on-frame dinosaur like the Suburban even have a place in 2026? The answer is yes, because nothing else does what it does. You can't fit 7 people, their luggage, and a trailer into a Tesla. You can't feel that sense of invincibility in a Prius. The Suburban is the ultimate American expression of more. More space, more power, more history. As long as there are roads to travel and families to move, the Suburban isn't going anywhere. It's not just a car, it's a legacy. Thanks for watching the story of the king of SUVs. If you enjoyed this deep dive into automotive history, you'll probably love our breakdown of why the Toyota Land Cruiser is the Suburban's biggest global rival. Would you like me to script that Land Cruiser comparison next, or should we look at the secret history of the Ford F-150? Let me know in the comments.